Fuck it.
Fuck it. Fuck it.
Hey, mama. If you are a mom and are tired of the wash, rinse, repeat burnout cycle of motherhood, this podcast is for you. If you feel lonely and isolated in your motherhood journey, this podcast is for you. If you feel like you have completely lost your identity since your babies were born, this podcast is for you. If you feel like every other mom has it together except for you, this podcast is for you. My name is Amanda, and I'm a life coach dedicated to teaching every mom the tools she needs to liberate herself off the back burner. I am living proof that a woman can be present and loving to her kids while also being a whole-ass person outside of being that kid's mom. The secret? Learning when to say fuck it. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Fuck It Mothering. I cannot believe that we're already on episode 47. I mean, on the one hand, I can because technically speaking, I've been podcasting for over a year. I think my first one was January of 2023. I momentarily just forgot what year it was. But so technically speaking, I should have already over 52 if I, actually podcasted once a week like I intended to. But it was a learning curve and I wasn't always consistent, and that's okay. I had to take breaks sometimes, and here we are. But episode 47, that's a lot of episodes. I'm really proud of myself. I was chatting with some moms at the last dance competition that we were at, actually the one that I'm here to discuss with you guys today, the 34-hour dance competition. And my podcast got brought up because one of my daughters, my oldest daughter, Eowyn, I need to specify when I say one of my daughters, she's 13, and one of her teammates listens to the podcast, and she brought it up. one of the moms was just like, how do you come up with material every week? I feel like I would just run out of ideas. So I'm really proud of myself for coming up with 47 completely unique, original ideas for you. They're all different. None of them are repeats. Actually, take that back. One of them is a repeat because I reposted or re-released rather Standing Room Only Funeral. That was a greatest hits episode. But overall, I'm impressed with myself. Good job, Amanda. Gold star. And honestly, my response to her was just yeah, sometimes I will believe that I don't know what to talk about this week or next week if I'm actually thinking about next week. Usually I'm just kind of winging it week to week if I'm being totally real with you. But then I remember wait, I have a wealth of material at my fingertips, at my disposal every single day. Every single day I get provided with new material, a bunch of new material, because I'm living my work all day, every day. And then it's oh, well, duh, I could talk about this or this or that or that. And then I have too much material. And then I have a totally different, the opposite dilemma of I don't know which to pick. So really the answer to that question is, there's always something to talk about. And I only spiral in I don't really know what to talk about and I don't know what to bring to the podcast this week when I forget who I am, when I forget that I'm living in my work, and when I forget the chaos of my life. I just get used to it. But in truth, there's so much to talk to you guys about every single week because, good grief, motherhood is just crazy, isn't it? So before I get going on the topic of this week of talking about this crazy dance competition that I survived, I want to talk to you guys about a couple of other things. First of all, this week is a very special week because I decided to add a segment to the Fuck It Mothering podcast called Fuck It Fridays. So the first Friday of every month, there will be a bonus episode of the podcast called Fuck It Fridays. I'm going to be joined by the same two co-hosts every week, my friends Amanda and Samantha. They are also mom life coaches, and we're in the same like business coaching program. And so we communicate with each other on a regular basis. And I had this idea of Fuck It Fridays. And I was like, oh my God, you guys, what if we did this together? And every month we come together and say fuck it to something in motherhood. And they were like, oh my God, yes, I love that idea. So this first episode, Samantha actually wasn't able to join us. She was going to pop on while her and her family are RVing. And then they had a quote RV emergency at the last minute. And so it was just me and Amanda, the other Amanda, but it was so good. It was so good. And we had so much fun. I am stoked to bring this like installment to the podcast to you guys, because it's just going to be like the breath of relatable air that we all need. There is no holding back. We like totally just went there immediately. And we're just very, very real about some things that just fucking suck. You know, they just suck. Like the stomach bug. It sucks. And when kids are barfing and they can't control themselves, like it's just, it's a lot of fun. I cannot wait for you guys to hear it. So that will be released tomorrow, which will be May 3rd. And then you can get the next installment on the first Friday of June, whatever the date for that is going to be. And Samantha will be there with us. I'll make sure that I can't help RV emergencies, but she shouldn't have another RV emergency because that would just be weird. Can't wait for you guys to meet Amanda and Samantha. They're fabulous. They're so funny. And the three of us just like get along really well. So that's tomorrow. And also I wanted to share 2 books that I recently finished that I really, really, really loved. The first one is Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. I think I talked about this book briefly before. I don't remember. I know I wrote an email about some like a theme inside it, whatever. So good. Such a good book. Oh my gosh. So the best way that I can describe this book is like, it's a mom telling the story of a summer from her 20s to her adult daughters. And this is like a story that they knew of, but they only knew like the surface version of the story. And now they're getting like the full-fledged story. And it's one of those stories where they're just like, wait, I didn't know that about you, Mom. Wait, I never knew that about you, Mom. Who are you? You're a totally different person than the person that I thought that you were. It's so good. It's so beautifully written, and it just brought me to tears. It's amazing. I highly recommend it. And apparently, the audio version, if you're more of an audiobook person, is narrated by Meryl Streep. So I'm sure that that's like amazing. I'm not an audiobook person personally. I like reading books and holding them, and I like the smell of books. And one of my childhood dreams was to have the library from Beauty and the Beast. So I can't have the library from Beauty and the Beast if I don't have a huge collection of books. So no audiobooks for me, but I'm not trying to diss anybody who like, I don't judge or shame. Who cares? Who gives a shit? I don't care how you get your books. Just enjoy books because they're beautiful and wonderful and my very best friends, because I'm a loser like that. The second one I actually just finished this weekend. It was super cute. This Spells Love by Kate Robb. This is a classic, quick and easy rom-com read, but it has, that little tiny like witchcraft element to it. It was really cute. It's like friends turned lovers sort of a vibe. Super cute, very quick, easy read, obviously. I loved those books so much. So now I need another. Oh, wait, I still have books from Christmas that I didn't finish reading. My daughter's got me like 4 books for Christmas. So I've been like slowly picking away at them. So I think I still have one more in my closet that I need to read. So now I can read that. I like to have a rotation of different types of books because I'm a weirdo like that. But I mean, honestly, for me, it's like TV shows. You know, sometimes you're in the mood for a certain type of TV show. I'm sometimes in the mood for certain types of books. So I won't just like start a book and refuse to read any other books until that book is done, because I like to switch it up. I've actually really been missing Harry Potter. One of my best friends and I have been slowly rereading the Harry Potter series for a couple of years. Like, we've been very slowly. Yeah. So we're on the 7th one. We haven't started it. Like, that's the last book is the book that I'm ready to start. I think I'm going to text her and be like, hey, you ready to start? Although she has a baby, so probably she's not ready to start that book anytime soon. The baby's like 2 months old. If even. Is he 2 months old yet? I don't even know. Wait, he was born in February. Yeah, he's okay. Anyways, he's young. So probably, maybe not, but I'm still going to make the ask because I'm in the mood for like a whimsical fantasy book. If you have any recommendations for like a whimsical fantasy book, drop them in the review section of Apple Podcasts, please, because I want to expand my horizons in that genre. I don't dip my toes there very often, and I want to, because I know there's more to the world than just Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter, but I know that there's more to the world than just Harry Potter. So drop them in the review section of Apple Podcasts so that I can check them out. And then you will be entered into my monthly book and Starbucks gift card raffle for doing that. I know I talk about it all the time. I'm going to continue talking about it. Reviews in Apple Podcasts are the number one way to help support this podcast. If you like it and any other podcast that you enjoy, leave a review in Apple Podcasts or in the Q&A section of Spotify. It helps with the algorithm so much. I cannot emphasize this enough. And I love giving back. I would love to gift you with a book and a Starbucks gift card for doing that. Okay, also, can we please talk about the Tortured Poets Department? Because holy shit, it's so good. Oh my gosh, you guys. The fact that Taylor Swift fucking released not just an album, but a double album while she's in the middle of a world tour. What? That woman has the fucking stamina of no one that I've ever seen before. And it's so good. Oh my gosh. The Prophecy, But Daddy, I Love Him, The Black Dog. What was my other? Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? Jesus, I fucking love. And I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. How badass is that song? How badass is that song? She's just such a true artist. Like, just so raw and open and vulnerable, and just the self-awareness and her ability to turn it into such beautiful art that resonates, because we've all been there. And I love that woman so much. What is your favorite Tortured Poets Department song? Leave that in the Apple Podcast review section too. I want to know. They're all my favorites, but I really love Who's Afraid of Little Old Me and The Prophecy. I cried with The Prophecy. That really resonated with me. Oh, so good. So the album was actually released the Friday of this 34-hour dance competition. And so I made the time to listen to it because I really, really wanted to. And I'm glad that I did. But that dance competition was just like next level as far as the amount of time it required of me. I have 3 dancers who are in competitive dance, if you are new here, or if you need a reminder. And they're on 3 different dance teams. So yeah, my schedule in general for competitions this year has been a little much, but this competition was the worst. So it was Hall of Fame, which is it's one of the biggest competitions apparently in the nation. And so there were a lot of entries and it was spread out between 4 days. And I was there all 4 days. Thursday through Sunday, my ass was driving to St. Paul, Minnesota and back again, and there and back, and there and back, and there and back. And when I first saw the schedule and realized I was going to be there for 4 days, I let myself have like the panic. And that's really the biggest step here. We don't give enough importance to this step of just allowing yourself to lose your fucking mind a little bit. It's okay. It's okay to go there. I went there and I texted a couple of my dance mom friends and I was like, this is the one's going to fucking kill me. I don't know how I'm going to get through this. I let myself be there. I let myself just be there and let those feelings and thoughts be okay. I didn't try to coach myself out of it right away. I was like, no, this fucking sucks. I'm gonna die. And then when I was ready, I then made a plan so that I wouldn't die. And the first item on that plan was I made the executive decision to not take any excess children with me. So this means that I only took the dancers who were actually dancing that day with me. Usually this is a family event. We all go, except for my fourth child who stays back with her dad. And this is the first year that she's done that. Usually last year, I had 2 competitive dancers, but all 4 of them were with me for every competition because they wanted to be there to support their sisters. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Let's go. And there have been some competitions where I brought other people's children with me because my kids' friends wanted to support my kids. And I was like, yeah, come on, let's go. And people thought I was crazy. They're like, Amanda, you brought extra children. I'm like, well, I had room in my minivan. And when you have 4 kids, it's like, what's another kid? Usually is my thought process. Like once I got to 2 kids and I made that adjustment from 1 to 2. That was just my mindset. It's just like, what's another kid? What's another kid? You really do get to that point. But this time for this dance competition, I was like, nay, I am only bringing who is dancing. Whoever is not dancing is staying with your father. And if you don't belong to me at all, extra other people's children, you are definitely not coming. Because Laurelyn's friend wanted to come and I was like, no extra children this time. Because it was just too much. That was the first one. And I stuck to it. Even though my kids did not like this decision that I made, they fought me on it and asked if they could come anyways every single day leading up to the competition. And then every single day of the competition, they asked, but mom, why? But mom, why? But mom, why? And that can get frustrating very quickly. And the way that I managed it so that I didn't get frustrated quickly with that was I just let it be okay that they were asking. I didn't think that it was a problem because usually they'll ask, they'll try to negotiate something that I've already decided. And I get frustrated because I'm just like, why are you doing this? That's the thought. Why are you doing this? I already told you, stop it. And I didn't do that with this because of course they want to come. They always come. And of course they want to support their sister. It's fine that they don't understand my perspective of being the adult in charge of all of this stuff and just being really fucking tired and needing to reserve my energy. It's okay that they don't understand. I just gave them the same answer every time and just let that be okay. And then I wasn't stressed and frustrated. And it really can be as simple as that most of the time, honestly. And then the other way, like the second step, I suppose, of getting myself through this 34-hour dance competition. And just to clarify, when I say 34 hours, I wasn't actually in the it's not a studio, auditorium for 34 hours. I was in there for most of those hours. That's including drive time, the there and back. It's about a 45-minute drive for me one way. So I was including drive time, but it was just like being as organized as I can. So I'm going to do my best right now to walk you guys through my system for getting prepared for a dance competition, because I know that there are a lot of dance moms out there who are really overwhelmed by all this shit. And first of all, I don't blame you. It's a lot. And I was definitely overwhelmed when I first got into this world because they kind of just feed you to the wolves. There's a big learning curve with how each dance competition runs differently and their terminology is different. Schedules they give you the initial schedule, but sometimes they're running ahead. Sometimes they're running behind. Both are stressful in different ways. There's, navigating food preparation for competitions is such a huge stress because you're there for so long. My longest day was a 12-hour day. And when you're there for 12 hours, it's like you have to think about food. And some of these convention centers want to force you to buy their shitty concession stands. And so they technically don't allow outside food or beverages. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? We're going to be here for 12 hours and you're not going to let me bring a water bottle in? Fuck off. Like all of these things that you have to learn on the go. And so like if you're a new dance mom and you're finding this podcast, first of all, I really hope that this is very helpful for you. Second of all, if you have any questions or need clarifications or links to any products that I'm about to talk about, please, please, please reach out to me. There's multiple ways to get a hold of me. You can DM me on Instagram or Facebook. You can write me an email, fuckitmothering@gmail.com, but that's fuck without the U. So that's FCKitmothering@gmail.com. You can leave that in the Apple Podcasts review section. Ask me a question, leave like your Instagram handle or something so that I can get back to you. But then you're helping me out too. And I will answer your question. I promise you, because I want to help you. But also, please have so much grace for yourself. You have to have grace for yourself because you're gonna fuck up. And if you give in to the stress of it all, that's when you become like a crazy dance mom. Or worse, like you quit. You tell your kid like, absolutely not, we can't do this. And I don't like everyone gets to make their own decision. If you choose to do that, that's totally fine. But like for me, my kids love dance so much. And I would hate for like my unmanaged brain to take that from them. So like if the stress got to be too much for me, it's because I'm not managing my brain. And that's how I choose to look at it. Because all emotions are just sensations in your body, including stress and anxiety and all of this other stuff. It's just sensations in your body. And so I would rather just work on myself and learn how to manage my stress, manage my thoughts around all of this stuff than tell my kids that they can't do this thing that they love so much, especially my oldest. It is actually like her life. I can't even imagine what her reaction would be if I told her that she can't dance anymore. I don't know. It wouldn't be good. It's literally her life. Anyways, that's a tangent. So that's another thing. Like if the first step is give yourself grace, the second step is learn from every competition. I learn from every single competition. And this is AON's, let's see, she started when she was in 3rd grade. We didn't do 4th grade because that was pandemic time. So 3rd, 5th, 6th. This is her 4th competition year. And we have 4 competitions every year plus a nationals. Let's just call it 5. So at the end of this dance season, I will have done 20 dance competitions. I learned from every single one. Every single one. Do you want to know what I learned from this last competition, buy extra biker shorts. Just buy extra biker shorts and keep them in the car. Because biker shorts have been used for multiple different costumes through multiple different seasons at this point, and they're pretty easy to lose track of because they're comfortable and my kids like to wear them. Like when we're at the studio taking pictures and Tap is like the last one, and she decided that she was hot and didn't want to put her sweats back on that she wore to the studio. So she kept her Tap shorts on. And then they got tossed into the bottom of the glam bag. And I looked at them. And because the rest of the Tap costume was on its hanger, hanging nicely, I just assumed the shorts were inside there, like underneath the shirt where they should be, but they weren't. So I thought that the biker shorts that had gotten carelessly tossed into the bottom of the glam bag with a bunch of other street clothes. Okay. There was a bunch of other street clothes. There was just fucking laundry in there from pictures. I thought those were her biker shorts that she just has them in her wardrobe, other ones. And they weren't there for her costume. And I didn't realize that until we were already in St. Paul and I was unpacking her bag and I was like, oh, fuck, you're missing the shorts for your Tap costume. So I guess that lesson is like twofold. Just have extra biker shorts on hand because they come in handy. Like I said, they've been a part of multiple different costumes and pieces that like that are kind of like a staple for dance costumes. So just like you've staples in your wardrobe, like a camisole or a tank top or something where you just have multiples of them because they just kind of go with everything. Biker shorts are like that for dance costumes. So just have it. Just have an extra pair because why the fuck not? And, you know, maybe you might never need them, but maybe another mom on your dance team might be really, really grateful that you happen to have an extra pair. And then the second lesson is to just triple, quadruple check the costume bags before you leave the house. And normally I do, but you know what? Everybody makes mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. I'm human. You're human. It's okay to make mistakes. When you are managing multiple competitive dancers, you need to color code. Okay? That's the first thing. Everybody gets a color. And in my household, they've all had their own like colors since like toddlerhood. And even though their favorite colors have changed, like their color code colors have stayed the same because it's just easier. It's easier for everybody because we know Eowyn is purple, Arya is green, Laurelyn is yellow, Ozzy is orange. We just know that because it's been that way since birth, basically, for all of them. So even though their favorite colors change throughout the years and stuff, those are still their colors. Color code. Okay. So I print out the schedule. And then I grab a highlighter in each of their colors and I'm highlighting and I laminate it. I don't have a laminator, so I use 3M makes these self-laminating sheets. And I'm pretty sure in the long run, it's definitely more expensive for me to use these sheets than to just buy a laminator machine and do that. But I don't want a laminator machine because it'll take up space in my house and I will only use it for dance competitions. So for me, I would rather pay more for the self-laminating sheets than pay in like space in my house for this machine to live in. You make your own choice, but laminate it because when you're at the competition, just a paper by itself, it's going to get stepped on. It's going to get crunched up. It's going to get water spilled on it. It just will. So laminate it. It's worth it to do that for every competition. Sometimes it feels a little extra when I'm doing it, but I'm like, no, I do this for a reason. So the schedule that I print out, everybody has their own color and that matches the color Post-it for the garment bags. So I use Glamour Gear bags the dance bags that you like take to the competitions that have all of your things in them. The bags are expensive. They are so worth it. Don't even try to do a dance competition without it. If it's your first season and you're like, I don't even know if my kid is going to like this, I'm sorry, get the bag anyways. You kind of have to. If they have more than 2 dances, you need the bag. You can resell it if your kid decides that they don't want to do it, or you decide you don't want to do it. But you have to have the bag, and those bags are crucial for sneaking food and water into these convention centers because they're cavernous pits. They're beautiful in that way. But so I use Glamour Gear. I tried Dream Duffel. That was our first bag for our first comp year. It didn't survive the first year. The canvas ripped after, I think, like the first dance competition. So then we just had a bag with a rip in it. I do not recommend Dream Duffel at all. And then the rods that come up to hold the costumes, they're very wobbly on the Dream Duffel. The Glamour Gear, it has a better structure. They're more durable. I love them so much. I think if I remember correctly, they're actually created by a woman who used to be a dance mom. So they're just really smart bags. By the way, I'm not being paid by anybody for any of these things that I'm about to talk to you guys about. This is just stuff that I use and I genuinely love, and I'm passing it on to you because I genuinely want to help you. So Glamour Gear, so much better than Dream Duffel. And then their garment bags have, I think most garment bags do. They have a pocket in there for like a label. Label your costumes. Okay. This step seemed a little extra to me when I first started. But when you're in the chaos of quick changes and you're trying to keep all the pieces together for one costume, it really, really, really helps to have a label on there that has, if you have multiple kids, you have to put the kid's name. Okay. The kid's name, the dance it's for, and then all the pieces that go with it. If you're doing all of this stuff by yourself, you're managing it all yourself, you are helping your brain out tremendously by doing this because you're not having to recall all of the different pieces of the costume every single time you're going to check the bag to make sure everything's there before you go to a competition. If you have a partner who like actually helps you out with stuff, the labels help because it's right there. Like that's why labels are such great tools for systems, because it immediately makes it clear what this is supposed to be. So when you're managing multiple dancers, color code everything. Everybody has their own color. So like Laurelyn's, my daughter Laurelyn, her garment bags have a yellow Post-it for the label for the bag. Aowen is actually blue because I couldn't find a purple highlighter, but it's close enough. And then Ozzy is orange. And so the schedule and their costume bags. And then when they're looking through everything, they can see exactly what is theirs just by the color. And then I always steam my costumes when I get there. So always give yourself like extra time to get there, to deal with parking. If you've never been to the convention center or the theater or wherever your competition is being hosted, if you've never been there before, please leave yourself extra time. Especially like if they're running early, and also like check the live stream a couple hours before you are thinking you need to leave. Log in and check the live stream, see what number they're on, and then check the schedule to see what time the ETA was for when that number was supposed to be on. Because my experience is a lot of the times they're actually running early. And when they run early, it is great when you're already there because then you get out earlier. But if you're not there yet and you're not aware that they're running early, because sometimes they can run like an hour early and then you're an hour late. It's like stress. So keep an eye on the live stream. They always have a live stream. Please keep an eye on the live stream. But don't steam the costumes until you get there, because you steam them at home and then you put them in a garment bag, and then you put that garment bag folded into the big glamour bag, and then it gets wrinkled again. And then you have to touch it up when you get there. It's fucking pointless. Okay. Also, Downy wrinkle release, game changer. Okay. It helps tremendously just reduce the amount of time that you have to spend steaming. So my process is I get there, I get set up, take all the costumes out of the bags, spray them with the wrinkle release, let that sit for a few minutes while I'm setting other things up like the snacks. So I will, once all the costumes are out of the bag, then the cavern of the glamour gear bag becomes like a pantry, basically. So I set all the snacks up in there so that way they can be seen. They're easily seen. And we're not like digging through a bag and crunching crackers up or smushing fruit up in the digging. We can see everything clearly. And it's not going to get stepped on because it's inside the giant glamour bag. Steam the costumes when you get there. Please don't fucking waste your time doing it at home and then doing it again when you get there. It's just stupid. And this year, I have tried something new with our makeup. So I got a bathroom caddy. So like something you would use if you were in a dorm and you had to like a shared bathroom, like one of those caddies where it has the two sides. And I organized everything in there, and I love it so much because you can see everything. So we're not, again, the digging. It's been really great to have it like that. Except that my kids never put things back where they belong, but that's just a kid thing, you know? When everything is put where it's supposed to be, it's nice when you can see it. And it's easy for me to put it back. It's not a big deal because I can see everything. I know where it's supposed to be. So any dance mom will tell you that the majority of the time that we spend at these dance competitions is actually just waiting. We're just fucking waiting. We're waiting for our kids to get on stage. We're waiting for them because they're in one final practice. We're waiting for awards to start. We're waiting for awards to end. It's just the amount of the 34 hours of this dance competition that I actually spent watching my kids dance was probably not even in an hour, honestly. I didn't calculate that, but it probably wasn't even a full hour. So my next tip for surviving these crazy competition weekends is bring something for you to do, because you don't have to like sit in the theater or the convention center. You don't have to be watching all of these dances. One of the days on Sunday, my friend and I, we actually did sit and watch most of the dances that day because they were really good. There was a bunch of productions and lines going that day. And this competition had a lot of like really, really, really talented groups. It was actually really entertaining to watch. But for the most part, like my brain is going to bleed if I watch too many dances. I actually don't know how those judges do it. Like they sit there and watch all these fucking dances. I don't know how they do it. But anyways, that's a total tangent that I'm not going down. But on, what was it? Thursday night? I think it was Thursday night, the first night. I brought my book. Because that night it was a bunch of soloists, and I don't want to watch a bunch of soloists. I watched our soloists, and then I just sat and read for a bit. Or you can, I don't know, bring something for you to do. Canvas the location that you're in, because A lot of times there's traffic jams trying to get from the auditorium to the dressing room because we're all moving at the same time. And sometimes that means you are like the last mom who actually makes it to the dressing room for a quick change. So I always have masking tape with me. And actually, the next time I'm going to bring duct tape because masking tape wasn't strong enough. I'll explain. I got caught in a traffic jam for a quick change because I forgot a hairpiece. So I sent the dress down the escalator and then I had to, with a different mom, and then I had to circle back around and go back up the escalator. But there was like fucking herd of people in my way. And then there was another herd of people in my way in the dressing room. And we were in the far back corner and I'm running and I'm like, I have a quick change, get out of my way. I have a quick change, get out of my way. And it just was horrible. So after that, I made it. Everything was fine. She was like on time. Everything was fine. But when I was going back to the dressing room, I asked the security guard, I was like, where are the stairs? Because like there have to be stairs. And that escalator is like a huge traffic jam. And she showed me where the stairs were. But the door at the top that led to like the second floor where all the dressing rooms were for this one, it was locked. There was some girls there who they just were stretching in that corner. So they let me in. And then I went back to the dressing room. I grabbed my masking tape that I always bring with me because it comes in handy. And I went to try to tape the lock of the door so that way it wouldn't be able to lock. And the masking tape wasn't strong enough. Hence my saying just a few minutes ago, I'm going to bring duct tape next time. Luckily, I found a doorstop. And so I did that. I propped that door open just in case I needed it later in the day. Because that was at the very beginning of my 12-hour day. And I didn't end up needing it, but you need to know like all of the different avenues, all of the different routes, because there's always traffic jams of other moms and other dancers and just bags and shit. And you just need to get to where you're going. And I was also able to help find a location for my daughter Laurelyn's dance team to do a quick change with a wig. They're doing a Wednesday dance this year, so they have the Wednesday wig. And we really didn't have time to go all the way upstairs, so we were trying to think of a place downstairs to change them quick. I had already been there for 2 days, and I had already walked around this place a billion times. So I was like, oh, I know the spot. Canvas the area. You need to know all of the different ways. Bring duct tape with you. Bring a doorstop. That's actually a good idea. I might just bring my own like doorstop because you need to get there. When you need to get to where you're going, you got to do it, and you got to do it quickly without going the normal way that everybody else is going because they're in the way. The final tip that I'm going to give you guys, actually there's two. So make friends. It can be a little difficult to get to know like some of the other moms sometimes. It just takes a while for like friendships and relationships to cultivate, but start to get to know them because they're your allies and you guys need each other. And sometimes it's nice to just sit and chat with someone instead of reading a book. Sometimes you get tired of doing whatevers, and it's just nice to have friends in your corner, and then they're the first to pitch in when you need help, and then you can pitch in when they need help. And like the moms are a team too. Your kids are on a team and the moms are a team too. Make friends, even if it's hard. I'm an introvert. It's difficult for me to make friends and talk to people. I understand. Do not use that as an excuse. You need people in your corner, especially in the dance mom life. But my final tip, and like the thing that got me through it, is I got through. This was a 4-day comp, like I said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Normally, because my kid's dad and I are divorced, normally we have our switch days on Sunday. I told him that was his scheduled week. And I told him, we're not switching on Sunday. We're going to switch on Monday because I'm going to be very tired. So when Aowen is done on Sunday, I'm going to bring her back to your place. The kids can spend the night with you on Sunday. I will get them Monday after school. I planned a reprieve for myself. I I planned for me being tired. And I know that not everybody is divorced. Some of you have to go home with your children. That's fine. I also took the Monday off. And I know that that's not an option for everybody in every job circumstance. But like, I really only needed to take the day after a competition off for this one comp out of, we do 4 locally. I've only done it for this one because it was 4 days. I put in almost a full-time job's worth of hours in for a dance competition. I got to take Monday off. Okay. And I just bed rotted while the kids were at school and they were with their dad. So I got to sleep in that morning, and then I bed rotted and I watched Marvel. I watched, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Very good. What else did I watch? Oh, Black Panther, the latest Black Panther movie, Wakanda Forever. So good. Just barely getting back into Marvel. I was like a really big Marvel fan, and then I kind of took a break from it because that was kind of like a thing that I did with my most recent ex, and I just needed a break from it. You know, like after you break up with somebody and something that used to be like an us thing, but it was always a you thing too. And so it's like I knew I wanted to reclaim Marvel. I just needed to do it in my own time, and I'm ready to reclaim Marvel. And I watched the 3rd volume of Guardians of the Galaxy in pieces because my kids were with me over this last weekend. I think Guardians are my favorite of the Marvel universe. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I love like that misfit quality that they have, and the most unlikely family. Yeah, Guardians are my favorite. But anyways, I bed rotted on the Monday after this competition, and I did it intentionally because I knew I was going to be really tired, and I let it be okay that I was going to be really, really tired. So be gracious with yourself. Make a plan and be as organized as your current capacity will allow you to be. Learn from every competition and rest and rejuvenate after it's all done, because it's fucking exhausting. I hope this was helpful for you guys. And I hope that you enjoy tomorrow's Fuck It Friday episode. Please let me know what you think. Have a great week. Are you living your one wild life to the fullest? You're not? Why the fuck not? What are you waiting for? The time to live is now, mama. Do not wait until your youngest is in college. Let your dreams hire me for an hour so I can explain how I can help you achieve any goal in your life. You've put yourself off long enough. It's time to pour into you. The link to schedule your 60-minute complimentary consultation is in my show notes. Join the community of Fuck It Moms by following me on Instagram and Facebook at Fuck It Mothering. That's fuck without the U. So FCK It Mothering. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you never miss your weekly encouragement. And please rate, review, comment, and share. All of these things help with the algorithms, so that way when other overwhelmed moms are looking for encouragement, they can find me. Every month, I give away one of my favorite books and a Starbucks card to a lucky winner. All you have to do to enter is write a review or tag me in social media when you share an episode. See you next Sunday, gorgeous.